Hello everyone, this is Diane. Thanks for coming to my pretty pink cottage. I want to talk a little bit about, well, not a little bit, pretty much spend the whole video talking about and starting work on the next journal project, which I'll get into in just a moment. I just wanted to show you this because these were still out. These are cut off pieces from the glue books that I did. And I sew scraps together quite frequently, but usually I put them in my bin of scraps, and then when I get a chance I'll pull some out and sew some together. But this time, instead of adding to the pile, I just sewed them together without even putting them in there. So some of them are full length, like the 12-inch length, and some of them were pieces. So I just kind of pieced them, added them on, sewed them down, and had a little fun with it. So these are ready to be cut up into a page or whatever I want to cut them into. There were smaller pieces that were pretty uniform in size, so I sewed them together into a strip that could be a nice side pocket. These could be pockets. So these are all ready for me to take and add to them and create something else. Just wanted to show that with you. Now, do you remember the I'm sorry. Do you remember the estate sale I went to last year? I think it was last year, where I got the Dick and Jane fabrics and got a whole bunch of fabrics. This was one of the fabrics that I got. I love it so much. I love the houses and the trees. I love the colors. I love the whimsical look. And I think I sold some pieces of this back at that time. But I, of course, kept some. Well, I found the perfect journal kit to use with this. I've had it for a little while, but I've been anticipating using it. It's actually called Childish because it looks like a child's drawings, but I mean, look how perfect that is. They look like they were made for each other. These are more childlike than these, but these are not realistic. And the bright colors are just perfect. This is called Childish, and it's from an Etsy shop called Yana's Crafting. I will link it below. So let's just take a look at what is in the kit. And I'll show you what other things I might use. And then I'm going to get a little work done on the cover. I'm at my sewing machine today for this. So hopefully we'll get some work done. I printed the kit 2 times because I am making one for myself and one for the shop. I will not be able to reserve one because I'm only going to make one for the shop. Let's look at the pages first. So there's, okay, I said I printed it twice, so that's the same thing. There's that, oh, and the backs. Look at that row of trees with the stripes. It is just so cute. My printer, again, when I print the backs, for some reason, sometimes the printer pulls the paper out wrong. So I'll just put a strip of washi tape or something on there. Look at the clouds. They're so fun. And the steps going up the side of the house. I think that's the same, maybe. There might be 2 different ones. I printed these a few weeks ago. Yeah, here's a different one. Look at that watercolor background with the clouds on it. So this is just a row of trees and then a row of houses. And wow, there's a lot of houses. This is a city, congested city. And it comes with some ephemera pieces, like these little postage stamps, but they're a bigger size. They're not tiny postage stamps, and they have the same designs as on the pages. There are cutouts of trees and clouds. So fun. Cutouts of the buildings. They look like blocks with pictures painted on them. And is that it? I have, oh no, that's not it. There are journal cards. So they look like this. Plain. I suppose, I was wondering if I should like print the sheet with the printed ones and then flip it and print the backs on them. But I didn't do that because I wasn't sure if they would line up right. I'm not sure if that's what they were made for. It might have been, but I can just glue that on there if I want to. So, some journal cards. And I don't think I printed them twice. I think I figured I could divide them up, but if I want them, I can always print them again. Because I think there's quite a few here. And I have other elements to add to the journal too. I'm thinking this was from Yana's Crafts, but I can't really remember. But I think this kit was called Something Different. So we have Childish and Something Different. And these are houses that were made out of fabrics. Look at the apples. They're so cute. And I can't remember how they were. I think I took this and printed two to a page or something, but then there was another page that had smaller elements together. So I don't remember how they were designed, but that's what I have. So all of those I think are going to be fabulous with this, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the cover in just a moment. But I have some other fun elements also. I don't think I'm using this. This is stuff I collected for a house-themed journal, but I pulled out the things I wanted to use. There's a Romper Room house card from children's books. Mary Engelbright. Love, home, family, friend. There's no place like home. Home is where one starts from. The envelopes. And then this card is fun. I may have gotten this in a Happy Mail. It's an invitation to something. Some kind of a party where they're going to blow the roof off. But I thought that was adorable for this. Some out of vintage magazines. Just to say hello. There's a pretty house in there. A French flashcard, La Maison, which is house. Whoops, there it goes. Love this card. It's printed on the inside, but I love that image. And this is from a paper doll package. And then this is journaling about a home, I believe, or cards. Phrases and words from Mrs. Coggs. Oh yeah, Home is Where the Heart is the name of the kit. So, hammock, a good book, comfy chair, home-cooked meals, things that really make you happy at home. So I used some of those. And I did pull some of the floor plan pages from vintage books. I did not look at scrapbook paper or any other kinds of paper yet. Some curtains. I just thought these were nice pages for this. So, without further ado, let's take a look at how we're going to construct the cover. I've been mulling it over because I knew this journal was coming up next. I want to get my little French card before I forget that it's down there. Okay, and I remembered this journal that I made a long time ago, years ago, and it was pretty easy to make, and it's just fun and squishy and comfortable, and that's what a home is. Fun and comfortable, and I don't know about squishy, but you get squishy feelings when you're there. So this does not have any padding in it. It's just fabrics appliqued in strips onto a backing fabric, and then I appliqued some laces and some fabric paper doll pieces on it. So I used this as a template. I actually laid this down on the piece of batting and I held this up and pinned it down to the batting and then cut around it and then cut the fabrics. So we're gonna put that together and do a little sewing. This one will probably be mine. The other one will have almost identical fabrics. There might be a piece or two that I don't have enough. Maybe just this part. This, I used up that whole piece for the inside. So I've started pinning them on, and then I thought I should probably turn my camera on. So that's where we are now. So I wanted this piece to be the flap. I looked at my existing journal, and the most prominent part is this flap. So I wanted that beautiful fabric there. Oh, but I also had a strip for it to, I need a piece in here too. And I forgot about that, and I added a different, I wanted to add this flower. Let me go grab my other strip of house fabric. It's in the other room. Okay. I really wanted to carry that house fabric over onto the other side of the journal also. So maybe I'll take that red out. I just made it a skinny strip, the red, just to add a little pop, but this will be our pop. And I'm not sure if I have enough of the blue one for the second journal, so there will be slight differences. Okay, so I'm going to finish pinning these fabrics to the batting. But I'm not pinning it to the backing yet. So, all right, I need to show you the batting. It doesn't matter what kind of batting you have, but this is just a cotton batting. It's not polyester. That's just what I'm using. You can use whatever you have on hand, but it's a thin cotton batting. I've had that for quite a long time. I just cut 2 pieces of it to make these journals. And I am just laying my strips out, going to pin them down, and then I will sew down the strips, and then probably trim some of the fabrics and then sew the whole thing to the backing all around the edges. And then I will applique some lace or something on top, and I'll do that with the backing, so that will help hold, that will like quilt the backing so it doesn't just pull apart, you know. You don't have all this gaping fabric on the back. I should probably put it this way. Because I'm going to sew that way, and my needle will skip right over the pin if I have it that way. That's how you pin clothing. I don't want to do elaborate things in this journal. I want it to be fun and whimsical, but not complicated, I guess. Maybe the cover is the most complicated thing, and I'm trying to keep it simple. Alright, so I have my pieces pinned on, and I'm going to, I just have a cream colored thread in, and I'm going to just sew down, start at this end, sew down each strip where the fabrics are joined with a zigzag stitch. And I usually lengthen my zigzag or my stitches when I'm sewing on paper so it doesn't perforate the paper. But since this is all fabric, I do want the stitches to be nice and tight, so I'm just going to leave the length and the width as the default stitch has it. I don't need to back stitch because I'll be sewing over that anyway when I go around the edges. Whoops. Well, I do need to put it on zigzag if I want it to zigzag. Let's do that. That fabric is backwards. Look how bright that is. I don't want to go back and take it out. This is my journal, so I'm going to leave it. And I'll make sure I put a piece of that inside the journal somewhere with the right side facing out. Now I could cut the thread and then start over here, but I'm going to just skip over. And then turn around. I didn't lengthen the stitches, so it takes longer to, the stitches are smaller, so it takes longer to get to the end. But it's better in the long run. We're not going to be in that much of a hurry. Those stitches look nice. So we're zigzagging up and down here too. You could use a little bit of fabric tack and glue these pieces down, but since it's on a fabric batting, a cotton batting, I thought the pins would work well enough. I hope I wasn't yelling too much. All right, I'm going to take this off right now because I see a little gap. I want to make sure I'm fixing that. There was a gap between these two fabrics right here, so just want to make sure they all, and I will put lace over some of the seams. So if there was a gap, I could cover that with lace or some kind of a trim. You can tell that this strip went crooked because this strip is wider up here than here, but I'm not concerned about it. It's just a patchy junk journal cover. take all the pins out. I guess I'll leave those in because this is a big area that's not stitched. And I had cut the pieces longer than they needed to be, so I'm just going to trim them. Okay, so this is what it looks like folded into a journal. Isn't that pretty? I love it. And there's quite a bit of blue. You see a lot of green and the rust color, but there's a lot of blue in here too. So I chose this. There's some blue on the pieces, but I chose this to be the liner. I've had this for a long time. I got it at a flea market. I've used lots of pieces of it, and I think this was the last of it. Hope this goes this way. And I love the piece. It definitely looks vintage, but it's got some pink areas where the color had run when it got washed. That was there when I bought it, but I didn't mind it. It was a huge piece of fabric, and I have sold it in bundles, and I've used it, and I don't know if there are smaller pieces somewhere, but this was the last biggish piece that I had. So it's got plenty of room around it. I cut it big enough for wiggle room. And now I will just pin it and sew it. And then we'll have the fun of adding laces and I don't know what else we'll add. Some appliques or something. Just have fun with it. At this point, I could add a tie right here in between those pieces, but on this journal, I sewed the tie onto the back, and I don't mind that. You can see the stitching, you can see the raw edge. I could have tucked it under, but I didn't mind. We're seeing the raw edges on the journal cover. They're zigzagged, so they don't fray, but there are raw edges, so I wasn't concerned about that. But I like having the ribbon tie sewn to the back, but you could do it here if you prefer. You could sew your back and your cover with the right sides facing and leave a hole to turn it right side out, and then slip stitch by hand the hole closed. And that way you'd have a finished seam all the way around instead of a raw edge. But you'd want to cut your pieces wider than you want, because that will the seam would take up 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch, whatever you use for your seam. All right, I hope that all made sense. If you're a seamstress, it does. I want to start here, so if it ends up puckering, it'll pucker not on the front flap. And I still have the zigzag on. Oh, I started right on a pin. Let me get that out of the way. I'm going to go a little slower just to make sure I stay on the edge. And turn on the corners. I decided this would be mine. I would make mine first in case I discover something that I should have done differently so I can do it better the next time. I'm trying to keep everything smoothed out as I go. I kind of wanted a fabric on the back that might look like a wallpaper. And I don't know if you would say, I guess that could look like a wallpaper, but I thought it looked homey, like maybe a bedspread. You can forward past this if you don't want to listen to my sewing machine. This is the last stretch. Something happened to my bobbin thread. Oh, I know. I ran out of thread. That's what that was. Oh, and I was so close to finishing. Okay, I gotta move my tripod to get to my... Oh, wait. I got one sitting there. Okay. I have a little drawer with all my thread in it. My tripod is right in front of that drawer. Let's just quickly thread this. Oops. Put it on going the right way. hardest part for me. All right, I'm moving out of the way so I don't get my head in the camera so I can get down in there and see. Got it. Did you see my frizzy hair because I didn't straighten my hair today? I got my hair cut a couple weeks ago and oh, she cut it short. I think I told you. Cut it a little shorter than I wanted, and that just means I can't control the curl, and I straighten it until it grows out a little. And I washed it last night. I'm not really going anywhere today, so I didn't straighten it. Okay, that's all I needed to do. Okay, so now we have more fabric to trim off carefully so that I don't snip the threads that I just sewed. This will feel nicer, I think, than my original one because it has the batting in it. And it's a thin batting. It's not cushiony, really, but it does feel nicer. We got time to do appliques? Yeah, we got a little time. I'm still working on reorganizing and tidying and destashing. But I did feel like working on this cover today because I've been thinking about it and I just wanted to tackle it. I decided last night that I was going to use this method for making it, and I wanted to do it. So it's been just about a week or 2 weeks that I've had this cold or COVID or whatever it was I was sick with, and I'm feeling more like myself now. I got to enjoy my niece's bridal shower yesterday. It was awesome. So here we have it. So this is what I mean about it pulling away, because it's all loose. There is no stitching on this. So that's why I want this here while I applique the laces on it. What a fun journal. What I didn't do was make sure the page fits, but all I did was use this, and I figured if it matched this, the pages would fit. Would have been good if I had measured the page against the journal cover, right? Oh yes, there's lots of room. And this will be thicker, so there's lots of room. Now, I didn't pull any laces or trims prior to starting this video. I'm going to look at my embroidered ribbons to see if there's something, but I have to adjust this tripod leg. I don't know if that would be too big, but I like the print on it. I don't know if I'll use any of these. I might want it to be more subtle, but we'll look at them. I think they would be fun if I did use them. So we'll get some of those out, and then I'll look at some just lace. I think that's too thin. this stuff. I've got rickrack too, but again, my tripod's in front of it. Let's look at the embroidered pieces and see if there's anything that we can use. That I don't want anything to really detract from the fabrics. I want something that will accent the fabrics, but I like this green. I think that's fun. What do you think? I really like that. And I don't have to put something on every seam. Maybe I'll put some of this here. That's a really vintage piece. I want to look at my appliques and doily pieces, maybe. Don't know if I have anything in here I want to use. Don't think I want to use roses. Maybe this. That's cute. That's whimsical. I like that. I only have one of those. Vintage appliques are not easy to come by, and new appliques are expensive. So most of the appliques in here are vintage. Okay, let's get these pinned on and see how it all looks folded. Maybe I'll fold it around the existing journal so I'll know kind of where the bends will be. I think rickrack would be fun and whimsical on here also, but don't know if I'll use it. Maybe I'll end up putting this where the spine would be. Okay. here we are. Oh, how fun. So this is kind of on the edge of the spine, if that's where it ends up. I wanted the flap piece to wrap around so it would like be the flap and the spine. And this is what you would see on the front with a ribbon or some kind of a tie. I love the way this feels, you guys. This is great. I love it. So the seam that is crooked is one I didn't try to hide. Maybe I'll just put a little bit of wide lace there. And I guess I was thinking of putting it here, but I don't know. I don't think it needs it. This can go there. I'll just probably glue that on. And I will sew the rest of those pieces on, but you don't need to watch me do that. How fun is that? What do you think? I'm excited about this journal now. I will get the second cover made before I do anything else, after I finish these laces. But yeah, that is going to be great. I love it. I'm glad I'm making one for myself. This was a dress or something that was cut up. It was in a bag full of fabric that I got at the flea market, and I love it. So if I didn't tell you that that was inside out, you wouldn't know. But when you see the other side, it's more vibrant than that. So make sure I'll put it on the right way on the other journal. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here, and I'll sew these laces on. And yeah, we'll go from there. I love it already. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me through the good times and the tough times. I really appreciate all of you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this journal. And if you have any questions on how I put the cover together, please ask them in the comments below. And as I said, I won't be reserving the journal that I'm making to sell because I'm only putting one in the shop. I also wanted to say, see, I'm feeling better, but I still have the residual cough. I also wanted to apologize for the glue book video, the flip through, because I think I messed up. Instead of saying that it would be listed at 6 p.m. that evening, I either didn't say when it would be listed, or I said when you see the video it's in the shop, because that's what I've been saying every time I list like D-Stash or flea market stuff. And I think I don't know what I said. I didn't watch it to find out, but anyway, some of you thought that all of the journals had already sold when they hadn't even been listed yet. And when I did put them in at 6 o'clock, they sold pretty quickly. And I want to say thank you so much for that. And I am sorry for any mistakes that I made in letting you know when it would be listing. I apologize for that. So I'll try to do better. And I'll see you the next time. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.